Hey, I'm Billy Riggs, a researcher at UC Berkeley and PhD candidate. As a part of my research, I'm making suggestions about affordable housing. I'm taking this opportunity to go through and offer training and suggestions about methods to increase affordability for housing and to increase access to walkable housing. Some of the outcomes of my research relate to increasing the typologies and different types of development that will increase density and provide more units for those who may not be able to afford them. So we're going to walk through some of those things. First, we're going to talk about some unique developments in San Francisco that take advantage of reduced zoning restrictions, and then we're going to talk about methods to make those and other units more attractive and relevant to the needs of not only low-income individuals, but perhaps the elderly, those with reduced capacity, homeless, and children. Because then there's many architectural details that we can talk about that actually increase the utility of those types of features. So without further ado, let's talk about efficiency zoning. As I alluded before, there are many jurisdictions or many cities that actually limit the number of units, or at least they're hampered as a result of requirements. These include open space restrictions, rules for setbacks, and limitations or requirements on a per unit basis. However, there's been some examples of efficiency and single room occupancy or SRR zoning that draw on European styles that provide case studies on and techniques for site maximization. So first, this picture shows the Cubics condominium. The condominium put 98 condominiums onto a 600 or 6,000 square foot site in the city's South of Market area. The intent was to provide buying opportunities to many different populations, including the elderly. We'll talk a little bit more about the design, but these type of micro units really have yet to become a feature of the U.S. landscape. But given that many of the similar studio projects have sold out, they really hold promise as being a part of the development portfolio for bringing affordable units to the markets, not only in San Francisco, but other mid to larger cities in the U.S. Gabriel Metcalf of SPUR, which is the San Francisco Planning and Urban Research Association, said the following, and this quote is on the screen, that microunits should be a part of a broad housing strategy for the city. They're not for everyone, but they do have a role for some people. If you look at the housing stock of San Francisco, there are thousands of multifamily flats and Victorians occupied by unrelated adults in roommate situations. Many of these would love a chance to own a small place of their own where they did not have to live with roommates. The Cubics units are approximately 300 square foot each. They have a full kitchen and a bath. They're designed with high ceilings and the windows on at least two sides. This provides for a nice, open, and more or less spacious layout. While it's not rich in square footage, it has design elements that make it feel bigger. Kind of my second point about changing the topology for affordable housing. There are a lot of ways that we can actually use to increase the number of units that we bring to market, but to change the style of those units is an important factor and something not being utilized by all housing developers, let alone architects. Sam Davis, the former dean of the School of Environmental Design at UC Berkeley, talks about in his book. Sam Davis, the former dean of the College of Environmental Design at UC Berkeley, talks about the idea of the American single-family home as something that we will never get away from, and that affordable housing needs to emphasize home versus housing. And I think this is an important distinction to make, giving each of these spaces identity. Looking back at the recent Cubics project, this took advantage of efficiency, single-room limitations to create independent living units. This independence is a key factor of what multifamily housing should mean to relate to the American desires for single-family housing. As the end, the units used ambient night, wraparound windows, high ceilings, and individual balconies to add the perceived spaciousness of the small units. Again, around 300 square feet at the largest. Ultimately, the number of units was increased. Davis's description of form relates it to Italian hill towns, and you can see here's a recent picture from the Cinque Terre region of Italy, where housings have what we call group form. The units are perceived as both a group yet independent. They have independent interests, and the typology and language is different than the traditional affordable housing projects. They're part of a whole, but they have independent front doors, balconies. They balance repetition with variation. Case studies in the U.S. We have one would be the University Village project at UC Berkeley. The development works to establish both individual housing unit identity and to make a distinction between private, semi-private, and public spaces. Appealing to the American residential desires towards single-family living. As was previously mentioned, each unit has a separate architectural identity set aside by different coloration schemes and building form, as well as unique things. Like, for example, here are the doors, and you can see each door has a separate awning and mailbox. There are repeated elements in each unit, including bathrooms, kitchen cabinets, a grand or great room that keep costs down. That also provide private space that would normally be attributed to single-family homes. And there's also a transition between private, a semi-private playground, and then private balcony. These are just a few ideas of ways that we can actually encourage builders, developers, and change our design guidelines to actually reflect better design for affordable housing. I'm Billy Riggs, and I appreciate you watching.